Have you ever wondered why success can leave you feeling more depleted instead of more fulfilled? If you're building a business, climbing in your career, or constantly striving for the next level, and somehow you still feel like you're running on empty, you're not alone. Welcome back to the Higher Alignment Podcast. I'm Minty Lam, and I help high-performing leaders stop running on empty so they can stay successful without sacrificing their health, happiness, or relationships. Today, I'm joined by my cousin, Christina Quach, a content creator whose perspective on nourishment is incredibly refreshing. We dive into why growth often brings up old patterns like perfectionism and people-pleasing, how to build a life that actually supports your nervous system, and why the smallest moments, like making lunch or embracing silence, might be some of the most powerful forms of self-care. By the end of this episode, you'll see nourishment as so much more than food, and you might just rethink what it means to actually take care of yourself. Let's get into it. Well, Christina, how's life right now?
Not good, but in a good way. Not good, but in a good way.
Yeah. What's going on? Tell me what's going on. What's been happening?
I'm in a period of expansion and growth in my business right now, and it's challenging. It's challenging me in ways that it's challenging inner child parts of me in ways that like I wasn't expecting would show up or I thought I had resolved. And it's just around topics like people pleasing and just being a perfectionist. And just having like really high standards for myself, but in ways that may not be as realistic as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that you said that it's like in ways you thought you had healed yourself, because what I've learned through like this self-employed entrepreneur journey is like, I thought I dealt with that already. And then something will show up and you're like, oh my God, this is still here, but like, I think being like a high achiever, a self-employed person, whatever, like anyone who's just like pushing for greatness in like a business type way, it will expose parts of you that only like a relationship can. Like, I think they're like on par as far as like the ultimate self-development journey.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think it's also because it might be showing up because it's happening in a different environment than what was originally happening before.
So share. So like, can you give a little bit of an example of like how it's showing up for you right now?
Yeah, for me, it's like right now I've come to the place where I'm working with bigger brands, higher stake, more spend. And it's like, yes, I know what I'm doing, but I'm also in the process of learning and I also don't want to make mistakes too. Right? Because I want to be able to obviously keep my job, build a brand relationship, but also build my portfolio and my skills. But with that, it's like you have to go through such stages of discomfort and allow yourself to actually feel all of that instead of resisting. Because there was a part of me before where I am right now where I was also a nervous wreck and also anxious, but I'm so proud of myself thinking about like all those late nights and all those sacrifices and getting through that. I'm so proud that I was able to get through that with such confidence and resilience. And now I'm going through that, but at a different stage.
Yeah. Okay. That's so real because it's, when we were kind of brainstorming ideas for today, we were talking about nourishment and like how I think that relates to what you're going through is like, whenever you level up in life, you are going to be met with chaos and discomfort because it's just, you're being stretched, right? You're like an elastic band that's being stretched and stretched. And why I think this is such an important conversation is we think that when we're going into the next level of life, it's like once we get there, it's like, okay, well, now I just got to grind it out again and push really hard. And yes, that is absolutely a part of it. Like when you get to the next level, like you said, you're dealing with bigger brands, bigger clients right now, more deliverables, I'm assuming, right? They're paying you probably more money. So you're like, oh my God, like you're receiving at a bigger level, right? And And yeah, so you have to not only execute at a higher level, but where I see people burned out is that they start executing at a higher level with no support for their mind and body as they start to execute, right? So they start working longer hours and pushing harder and, staying up later, working earlier, being available all the time to their clients and cool, but then they're not sleeping properly. They're skipping breakfast. They're not doing any regulation. And so all the nourishment gets sucked out of their life. And then, okay, maybe they end up hitting the deliverables and the money, et cetera. But then it doesn't hit the same way they thought it would because they absolutely gassed themselves in the process of getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And I think, yeah, it's kind of like also like the mindset, oh, you're starting out your business or you're in a period of growth and your output is equal to how much you input. But like at the same time, it's like also working smarter in ways that work for you. And when I think about the times where like I would stay up late and just not really take care of myself and feel like I really need to get this done ASAP before deadlines and stuff. And it made me realize that the difference it makes is actually this much. And was it worth
Mm.
losing sleep and that mental energy when I can still have the same output if I just listened to myself a bit more and just did like trial and errors and figure out like I'm in a place of privilege where I can determine how I work, when I work, and how I do things and optimize my current workflows and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's so key. Like it is like nil what the difference actually not nil, but it's like very minimal the difference. And you're like, and I just lost a whole night of sleep for that. And so much mental and physical stress in the body. Like how many years did that just take off my life, And whereas like if we just actually took care of ourselves, then we might have less hours that we're putting towards said project or said thing. But then the hours you do have, you're way more efficient. Like I remember living like that too. And now if I have to work and I didn't get a full night's sleep the night before, just because I'm still human. That still happens a few times a month, especially in parts of my cycle where my hormones are shifting, and I just don't sleep well during my luteal phase. The next day, I'm like, oh, I just already know I'm not going to put out my best work because I can just feel the difference in my body now, where that used to be my method of survival and productivity. Well, I'll just stay up late and work as many hours. And now I know if I've pushed too many hours and not rested enough, I know I'm not doing my best work. It's so apparent to me. But it's crazy how so many of us have been programmed to think it's just our best work comes from self-sacrifice. And I get where it's come from as far as a survival technique, but it really is just so backwards.
Totally. And it's also like a lot of unlearning. Like I just remember in university, there was a lot of like productivity Olympics, like, oh my gosh, like how many days did you pull an overnighter? Or I'm always busy. I got this to do, like as if it was like a trophy thing. But I'm at a stage where like these, like not getting enough of sleep and stuff really compounds. And it really hurts me because I've built a set or route, like I built not like a rigid routine, but a routine that's actually gonna like support me in my business, but in my personal life and like in just different aspects of my life as well. And it's really important for me to maintain that as much as possible to keep.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about that a little bit because, obviously I'm talking about the nervous system all the time. It's the,
Yeah.
foundation of my work and just everything in life. But when I look at your content, you talk a lot about nourishment and you do it in the way you'll do cooking and recipes. I also find you're very nourishing with how you deliver on social media through your voice and the things that you're doing. When I watch your page, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm going to a wellness retreat with her. You know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe you create. Tell me a little bit about what nourishment is. What does nourishment mean to you when you hear that word? And also, how do you create that for yourself? Because I say this with regulation all the time. Regulation isn't you have to create time and space to regulate, especially if you're coming out of fight or flight or survival mode. Like, it's not just going to magically pop up for you. You're going to have to take the 5 minutes. You're going to have to set the alarm, So for you, what is nourishment, and how do you incorporate that into your life?
Yeah, this is gonna be a big one because it's like how I live. And like I feel like nourishment for me, it's not really like the dictionary term. Like for me, it starts off with like what is the state of being that I want to be in. And for me, like I've worked towards being in place of like mental peace and stability in my life. And I want to maintain that as much as possible. And in order to do so, required and currently requires a lot of inner work. So right now, like you see on my page, I'm doing a lot of making snack plates for myself. And it's like, for me, yeah, that's like literally nourishing, but it's nourishing because it forces me to be present. I like
Mm.
creating different foods and like it's like feeding my inner child. And that is what is really important to me. And I find that that really, keeps me in a place of mental peace and stability. It's like I'm a sim character. I'm like
Mm.
nourishing the food aspect of it, but I'm also not optimizing. I'm purposely doing it in the most inefficient way as possible because I refuse to optimize that part of my life. Making my snack plate, I refuse to do it. I want to be
Okay,
present. Yeah.
this is awesome. I've never heard anyone give this as okay, this is so
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so tell me though, because when you talk about making your snack plate, I also think about like creativity in a
Yeah.
sense, right? Because you're like,
Yes.
what do I want to put on it?
Yeah.
What's going to taste good together? But
Mhm.
talk to me about how you intentionally don't optimize your snack plate, because that's brilliant. So how do you
Right.
do that?
Totally. It's like it's a part of my life. It's a part of my day routine that like it's like really important to me. And like it's stuff like so for example, I like like sweet tooth. I know it runs in the family. I like to eat dried dates and like I can just eat the whole dates, but I'm going to slice them up into 3 pieces.
Mm.
It's the movement of like chopping and creating and like just like adding to that piece of plate and having different textures and stuff. It's like it's also like cooking. It forces you to be present, but it forces you to activate different senses of your body, whether it be taste or repetitive movements, right? And then like just organize it on my plate. And by the way, like my plate, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but like it's literally a kid's silicone plate that has like antlers and is divided in 3 spaces. And I love that. I can have like all the food groups, all the different colors, all the different textures. Let's add the crunchies. Let's slice the bread into triangle slices because triangle bread does taste better. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
it just slows things down for me. I'm activating every part of my senses. And in the end, I created such a beautiful plate that looks good and I get to eat it too.
Oh my God, Christina, this is so brilliant. Like I've never thought of it this way, but like I thought of it in the sense of like food is nourishing, right? So
Yes.
obviously like a home cooked meal is going to do way more for you than like ordering skip the dishes, but I get it. Life gets busy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But okay. So my follow up to that is because I have people listening to this going, Mintu, you think I got time to cut up bread into 4 pieces? You think I got time to cut a little date into 3 pieces? Like, I get it. When you're in fight or flight, it feels like you have no time. But what gave you where did this come from? Because I'm not assuming you've always been like this. Like we
Yeah,
talked about
totally.
before, like you're right now, you're in some fight or flight because of all the work deliverables. So
Mhm.
where did the idea spark to slow this down? Because most of the people I work with are skipping their lunch and their breakfast a lot of the time. They're eating at their desk while still working or like, you know what I mean? Like there's no regulation in the food they're getting. So where did this come from for you?
A big thing of nourishment is for me is like how you speak to yourself and how you honor yourself. And for me, it's like there, of course, was a point where everything was go, go, go. And then it was morning. And then all of a sudden it's 3 p.m. And it's like, how is it already 3 p.m. and I didn't even make lunch for myself? And I always went to bed so dysregulated. And I wake up and the whole process, it felt like, like you're just sitting and then your life is just passing by as like a moving train. It just seems so robotic. And like for me, nourishment is definitely how you speak to yourself. And I really believe that that really impacts how you move through life and how you are impact through life. And even whether you are allowing yourself to receive such a nourishing, delicious plate. Are you allowing yourself to receive that, right? Are you allowing yourself to take that break to slow down? Or are you allowing yourself to like actually listen to your body and your inner child and like what exactly do you really need right now? Because at the end of the day, like for me, I recognize this is not how I want to live. Like being stuck to my phone and all that, like time would just go by and life just did not feel good. I wasn't doing things that I really like to do or wanted to explore. And like all of that just caught up. And at the end of the day, like I just felt like I really needed to slow down certain aspects of my day in order for me to lock in and have fun in the work aspects of my day as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you're an executive who's craving more clarity, happiness, and a sense of real inner peace in your day to day, make sure you hit follow so you never miss an episode. This show is here to help you lead, succeed, and actually feel good while doing it. And if something resonates today, give it a like and share it with someone else who could use a little bit more calm in their life too. Yeah, well, and you know what? The great thing about food is that something that's fully in our control, right? Like
Yeah.
what we put in our body, how we prepare it, when we're consuming it, the time we give ourselves to consume it, and what you said earlier as well is like that whole inner child aspect. Like I love that you use a plate with antlers on it.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I think it's so good. And the
Someone
reason
thought,
oh,
someone,
go ahead.
someone thought I had a kid. They're like, "So do you have a kid?" I was like, "Yeah, myself."
Yeah.
Well, inner child, like what?
Okay, but you know why that's so brilliant is because I'm constantly having this conversation with my clients, right? It's like, for instance, with food, it's like if you had kids and your kid came to you and said, Mommy, I'm hungry. Like, would you be like, okay, well, when you're done 3 hours of homework, you've cleaned your room, then I'll feed you and I'm gonna feed you really fast and you only got 10 minutes to eat it and get it all in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like you would
Yeah.
never talk to a little kid that way, right? So then when you think about what you're doing to yourself in that process is by forcing yourself to skip these meals or rush through these meals or not take time to eat them, you're essentially telling yourself you're not important. Right. And when you repeat that behavior over and over again, well, that's where we, end up burnt out, resentful, depressed, unfulfilled with life. Right. And so, like, even I was talking with a client yesterday and he's been having a hard time shifting his body out of fight or flight, but he has this big interview this week. And he's like, so what should I do to prepare? I'm like, I don't think you prepare for the interview at all. I said, I think you go regulate as much as possible. So like, what did you like to do when you were a kid? Did you like to, skateboard? Did you like to like go on roller coasters? Like do more of that this week because the more you support that inner child version of yourself, the way more regulated and nourished the adult version of you is going to feel too.
Uh, like absolutely. I've definitely prepared interviews in that way, and I've always got the job like the next day, and it's because like I started the interview feeling so calm but confident in my abilities because I know the stuff. I know the stuff. I did my homework, but being in that state allows me to recollect a lot of things and be able to show them what my problem skills are like and be able to answer and do like puzzles and challenges that are like thrown my way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just better versions of ourselves when we're in that state. And I know people say, well, I work better under pressure. And like I do believe that too. Like sometimes people are like, oh yeah, like I like a little bit of intensity. I think that can serve as well too, but if you're constantly in a state of intensity and you're getting no reprieve, now we're not in like a sharp intensity. Now we're in a like brain fog, exhausted, can't breathe properly level. And like, again, you're not going to deliver your best work from that state. So
Yeah. So, and I think another part of like the food thing is just one part of like how I nourish myself. Nourishing is also like removing stuff that is blocking your ability to receive what you need to receive. It's also allowing yourself to be bored and to hear your thoughts. Because I feel like
Mm,
wake up, you get on your phone, you can't even hear your own thoughts in the beginning. Whereas like me taking my time to make my plate, there like I can have music, but I'm not gonna have music. I can if I want to, but it's so silent. Like I want to be bored. I want to do, even though it's fun, yes, but I want to be bored. I want to just have peace and quiet in my brain and just do something that doesn't require heavy, like snacks are like really easy. If I'm like making a whole big meal, that's something different. But just allowing yourself to be bored and just being able to like hear your own thoughts and crickets really hits different. And like we grew up in a time where we didn't really have much phones, right? And we can go outside and we go in the forest and it's kind of like a blank slate. You and in that you're in a forest, but you allow yourself to engage in that creative process in imagining like, oh, this could be like a magical enchanted forest. I can build my own house and fairies are going to come into it. It allows you to have that creativity and critical analysis in your brain. And I think like for me, that's really important. Just being able to like allow yourself to think and be creative in those ways. And you can't really do that when you're go, go, go. And I like for me being in the right now, I think what I'm fighting against is like being productive, but also being creative as well.
mm.
And I am learning that being creative, it's like, oh, you got 30 minutes to like execute this, like to ideate all this. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like creativity requires, for me, like it requires time and not seeing it in that way. Not seeing like, okay, 30 minutes, I got 30 minutes every morning to finish off my emails, like shoot off my emails for the day while I'm on my walking pad. The creative process is different. So it's kind of like, the admin side and then the creative side. It's like two different worlds, but they're so important.
Yeah, oh man, with the creativity thing, I feel that so much right now, and mainly because it's actually the wedding that's taking up a lot of my space right now, and because it
Mhm.
is a lot of admin. I gotta order tables, I gotta order a seating chart, I gotta order all these executive things, right, for the wedding. And so like full transparency, even this podcast, I was like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? You know what I mean? Because I just have no, like my creativity feels also very limited right now. And I can dial it on a few things. Like my content,
Yeah.
even on Instagram hasn't been as consistent lately or not even as consistent. I've been having a hard time creating content around the work I do, which I really love. But
Yes.
the only thing I have access to is things like regarding the wedding and what I'm going through in that space. And so for me, it's been a bit of a flip of like, just share what's going on then. Like, what, it doesn't have to be directly about the burnout and directly about that. Just talk about what's going on. But
Yeah.
one more thing I wanted to say with what you said about like creating space for silence and being bored and creating space to hear your own thoughts. Like again, if I think about a little kid, that's like your kid coming to talk to you. You're like, oh, let me just turn up the music quick, honey. You know what I mean? And they're like, your kid wants to tell you something important and you just turned up the volume on the radio or on Spotify and now your kid's trying to yell over music. You know what I mean? Like to me, nourishment is about self-connection. Burnout is about a lack of connection, right? So if you're constantly filling things with noise and distraction, it's like, again, you're going to end up disconnected from yourself. You're not gonna be able to feel fulfillment. You're not going to be able to feel joy. You're not going to feel like confidence because you're losing connection with yourself by creating all these barriers to actually being one with you.
Yeah. And I think like as I hone in on my personal branding on my page, I realized that the overarching theme that has helped me that I want like I feel like I've just gone through a significant challenges and overcome so much and I've come to a place where I am so happy with where I am in my life and my just basic foundations of what I have that I want to be able to share that with others and create space with others, but not in like you should do this and this. It's more about like my saying is like coming home to yourself. So
Mm.
it's not about like for example like for me a big one for me is like self-improvement culture and like improving yourself. There's a difference between improving yourself because you think you're not worthy, you're not strong enough, you're not talented enough. Coming from that place is way different than you're improving yourself because you love yourself and you want to build on these things and explore these things. But coming home to yourself is really about you're in there. Like you yourself, everything is in there. There's just a lot of noise out there and you just got to get quiet enough to like hear yourself. And I think just being so in tune with who I am, my values, and of course, I want to like grow on different things, but that foundational stuff is there. And yes, like it takes a lot of work and a lot of uncomfortable work, but it really impacts a lot of different aspects of your life, like how you show up for yourself, how you communicate with others, your romantic relationships. Even like at one point when I was like in the people pleasing, like strong people pleasing, self doubt, and the low confidence, low self esteem, it impacted and how I was negotiating or even negotiating at all in deals. Like I would accept low offers or like pitch lower rates and stuff. And it's like because I think I'm there, but I'm actually, when I look back, it's like, no, like I know all the work I put into there, right? So it really impacts how you move your business, how you move in your personal life, how you do yourself, and it's just all connected.
Well, yeah. And even as you say that, like when you're in that mode of more of the people pleasing or not valuing yourself, like I always go back to, again, like thinking of it like a gas tank. And it's like when your gas tank is empty, again, you haven't been regulating, you haven't been nourishing yourself, you're underfed, underslept, under resourced, period. You're in survival mode. So when you're in survival mode, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll take any drop. I'll do, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you have no gas in your car and the closest gas station is charging $10 a liter, you know what I mean? Like something astronomical. Guess what? You're going to pay it because that you have no options, right? You're going to take the low deal because you feel like you have no options. You're going to agree to projects you don't want to do because you feel like you have no options. Where if you were passing that gas station, you had half a tank of fuel, 3/4 a tank of fuel, you'd be like, oh my God, that's outrageous. That like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm just going to go till I find what's right for me.
Yeah.
Right. But we don't realize how much not taking care of us affects everything. And it comes from a good place, right? Like that's the other thing. Like Christina and I are talking about this because we've both been there. We've both been people pleasers. We've both been control freaks. We've both been perfectionists. You know, if you guys didn't know, she's my cousin, if I haven't said that already, right? So, um, we're saying this with empathy and compassion, understanding that, you know, we learned this as a survival strategy growing up, right? If you appease everyone else around you, if everything else around you is okay, then you're okay. That's what it signals back to us,
Yeah.
right? And there's merit in that behavior. It's still a good skill to have. But when that behavior and that strategy is dictating everything in your life, well, again, that's when you end up constantly dysregulated, constantly with an empty tank, and constantly questioning, like, is this for me? Or like, does this actually make me happy? Does this actually make me fulfilled? Or am I just filling the role because I feel like I need to? And that's where things get blurry, right?
Yeah, you're questioning a lot about yourself, and it's also it just goes back to like doing things because you love yourself, not like you gotta love yourself no matter where you are, not when you booked like your first $1 million deal or whatever. You gotta love yourself, I guess, like unconditional, like unconditionally, so you'll be able to give what your body needs. And I will like, of course there are like, I'm not like 100% for like always being productive and stuff like that. But I will say like doing all this work has really made me way more efficient and productive, less decision fatigue. I'm more confident in what I want, what's the right move for my business. And if I make a mistake or if I feel, or if I did something, I was like, oh wait, I wish I didn't did that, or I should have approached it differently. I can come from a place of like radical acceptance and acknowledging the situation as it is, and then working through that, like learning it for next time and not beating up myself. I'm not beating myself down about like what happened. I can't really control what happened, but I can learn from it, and I have the systems and a nervous system regulation for me to get through that. I can't change the past, but I can do what now, what I'm going to do with it now, what I'm going to do with it later.
One of the biggest struggles for high achievers is they can't tell whether they're burnt out or just overly tired. That's why I created the High Performer Stress Assessment, which will assess exactly what your mind and body are struggling with and what you need to start feeling more balanced, grounded, and happy ASAP. It only takes 2 minutes to complete, and you can find the link in the show notes below. So good. So good. Okay. So far you've said, because these are really good, Christina, how you nourish yourself. So the first one was taking time with your food, slowing down, not rushing that, making it fun, making it creative, making it slow, making it not optimized. Like, I love that so much. The second thing you said was creating space for quietness, right? Creating space for boredom, creating space to hear your own thoughts, right? What's one more? What's one more thing you do in like your day-to-day that really helps you with the nourishment?
Removing barriers. Like removing barriers. And I think that's kind of like everything's so loud. You need to quiet things down in order for you to hear yourself. But it's removing barriers that might be things that are actually making you do things a little more harder and a little less efficient than you need to. So like for example, I would say like there was a lot of friction at one point when it came to creating content. I was putting a lot of barriers on myself. I would be like, okay, I have to look presentable and I don't have to, and I want to make sure that like I don't have acne in order to start filming. I need to have the lighting has to be good. My house has to be clean and just like those are a lot of mental barriers. But like at the end of the day, like creating content is more like for me, it's like about just being able to have a conversation and connect to community and others and give and receive and explore I guess like the wonderful joy of life and all its ups and downs, but it's also like removing things, whether it's honestly about people in your life, people that are no longer maybe like you've outgrown, or it's like there's just a lot of friction going on and just not working right now, and that's okay. That happens, but you gotta be able to love yourself in order to recognize what is no longer serving you and what is preventing you from nourishing yourself in ways that you need, whatever that may be. So it's like people, mental barriers, and I think yeah, those are the biggest one. Definitely like the mental blocks for sure.
And so how do you tell whether something is an actual block or a mental block, like perceived by you? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how do you for yourself make that judgment? Like, oh, this is literally just a me thing. It's not actually a barrier or something that actually is one.
Yeah. Okay. This is great because it goes back to like I was literally messaging. So like I was literally messaging Mintu. I'm just like, I'm going through. I'm feeling this type of way about my business right now, and Mintu was just like, it's understanding where is this coming from? Is this how you actually feel? Where are these thoughts and feelings actually coming from? Because is this actually the issue, or is it something broader or more smaller, or is it something else? And being able to understand where your thoughts and feelings might be coming from will, like, for me, it gives me clarity on like what is actually the issue. And like honestly, sometimes like I feel like I create issues and sometimes excuses in order to avoid doing the hard stuff and avoid doing those things. And like, yeah, we all like we want to grow, but it's so uncomfortable. And I think it can be really easy for people to be like, okay, I don't like what this is doing to me. I don't like how I feel about this. So I'm just gonna quit. I'm just not gonna do it. But like, why?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's that why. And I think what's important about that, and I think this is the journey everyone has to go on with themselves, is like knowing, because we all have barriers, we all have blocks, right? Like I'll be honest, I have an hour after this before my next meeting. I'm like, oh, I should try and create some content in that hour. But then part of me is going, like, my brain is mush right now from all the things that I've been doing wedding planning wise. So someone could say it is a barrier, but then part of me also goes like, am I going to be creating great content in an hour then if I only have that much time? So like using that as an example, I think the right answer for me is, now that I'm talking about this aloud, is just doing it later today where I have a little bit more time to do it, not trying to cram it into an hour to be productive. Still show up and make the content, but do it where I have a little bit more space. And yeah, maybe conditions won't be as favorable. Maybe I won't have the lighting or the whatever, but it's like just finding space where I have the capacity to create it still, but without like still showing up, but making sure I have the capacity to show up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And like, yeah, like that's a big one. Like, cause sometimes when I have big projects and I break it down into small tasks, it still takes a lot for me to kind of just sit down and start. And it's like, why am I feeling this way? And oftentimes it's because like this is high stake work that I'm doing right now. So that's why I'm like putting it off. Right. But then once I like get through, like once I like force myself to actually like start, I'm in the zone because I'm allowing myself to be in the zone. I'm not thinking about what's at stake. I'm like just allowing myself to do that. And it's like, it's like, what are you turning off and on in your head right now?
Yeah. Well, and I think what's important about that, like for instance, if we're using both of our examples for you, you say most of the time it's high stake. High stake is actually a good thing because you're like growing into it. But of course, the body's like, we haven't been here before, so that's where the resistance is coming from.
Yeah.
For me, I think, if I'm being really honest, my resistance towards making content today is I'm so tired. You know what I mean? And it's not even that I can't do it. I'm just so tired and my brain hurts. And this is where it's important, people, what we've been talking about, to know the difference. Is the avoidance coming from, hey, this is something big I have to step into? Or is the avoidance coming from, I'm actually like really under-resourced right now? And if you can get really good at identifying where it's coming from, that's going to make things so much easier, because neither are wrong, right? And it's just about knowing like gas or brake, right? Like, is this one, like if we're using these two examples side by side, you're in like a growing into phase. I'm kind of in like, I'm an under-resourced phase.
Okay.
Those are two different strategies, right? But we both know that the goal is to still come home to ourselves. So we don't want to lose ourselves either way that we go.
Yeah. And like, that's the thing, like the core, like doing the inner work and like being like having a nervous system doesn't mean that you're gonna suddenly avoid uncomfortable things and challenges. It's like being like having that foundation allows you to get through all those things. Like whatever happens in life, like, yeah, you can have goals like, oh yeah, like I want a bigger house, or like I want to grow my brand to like X figures or whatever. Sure. But do you have like the skills, the nervous system regulation in order to even be able to get that and be able to enjoy those things as well?
100%, 100%.
Um,
Okay, I thought we'd switch gears a little bit and do a little fun game. Okay, so we're gonna do a little rapid fire. I have 10 here. I have more than 10, but we'll maybe go with 10. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a situation or a thing, and you're gonna tell me if this is nourishing or not nourishing. And if it kind of depends, you can say that too. But I'm gonna list a thing. You're gonna tell me what you think. I'm going to say what my answer is, and then we can give a little bit of a reason.
okay.
Okay? Okay. Okay. So first thing is working on a Sunday because you're inspired.
That's nourishing.
I would say that's nourishing too. If the
Okay.
caveat is if you're inspired. To me,
Yeah.
that's the biggest difference, because if you're working Sunday because you feel like you have to, not nourishing. Working Sunday because you're inspired, nourishing.
Yeah. And allowing yourself like, okay, of course, like we have to like time certain things and what we do, but like giving yourself some time flexibility in order to do that, but also being inspired without having high standards and expectations. It's kind of like starting hobbies and feeling like you need to make a business out of it. Like, no, just let yourself be inspired. Don't feel like every single idea has to like break the whole world or stuff, you know? Yeah.
Okay, because that's funny because one of the things on my list was having a hobby that makes no money. So is having a hobby that makes no money nourishing or not nourishing?
I think it's nourishing
I
because
agree.
not everything in your life is tied to should not be tied to productivity and making money in this
Hun-
system.
I
Like,
agree. Like to me, when I hear that, I go back to what you said about the food. Like I do not want to optimize my food, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
agreed. Okay. Reaching inbox zero. So having everything in your inbox answered and dealt with.
Uh, I think it depends. I think it depends what's at stake. I think
Okay, go ahead. What do you think?
like
Explain.
for me, actually no. Okay, like for me, I like to get through my entire inbox, but there are things that I like just like read and was like, I not like this is not like a time thing. Like I can't just do this right now. So I'll just do like unread, but I would, and I have to like deal with things that are like a bit more time sensitive. Especially if it's things that like I need answered in order for me to do my work. So it's like nourishing because it's like a degree of like control,
Right.
like
Right.
something control you have to do, but
Right.
it's also, yeah, I think it just depends.
Yeah, I agree with it depends too, because I used to be one of those people that had to have zero red marks, like
Mhm,
on my text messages, on my email, like there can be no red. I'm
mhm,
not that way anymore. Like my text messages, I'm probably a little bit more because I know if anyone's texting me, it's probably relatively important. So I have like zero notifications on that. But my inbox, like I have 467 reds
yeah,
right now. But all the priority stuff is taken care of, right? But
yeah,
again, I have to delegate like what actually needs to be done now, what can be done in 3 days, what can be done in a week, you know? So
yeah.
again, I'm with the depends there. So um okay, working from the couch.
That's like nourishing. It's like for me, okay, it depends. It's nourishing if it's okay. There are some tasks that I cannot do on the couch efficiently or comfortably at all. But for me, where my couch is located right now, it's beside a really big window that has a lot of sunshine. I can see the trees. So it feels less office like and more of like me being on my own zone and just it feels less pressure, like, but it
Mm.
really depends on the task.
Yeah, I agree too. I think it depends what you're working on. Like I can feel nourished working on the couch too because again, I'm a little bit more comfortable. Maybe if the sun's there by a window, like same thing. But like I also know I've been in states, not in the last couple of years, but I've been in states before where like I'm working on the couch because like I'm trying to watch a movie while also work. You know what I mean? Or I'm trying to watch a movie with someone while I'm working. Like, you know, like I remember doing this with my niece and she'd be like, we'd be watching something. I'd be on the computer like, okay, this is, this is not nourishing at all. I'm not present at all,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Okay.
again, I think it depends. Um, setting your phone to do not disturb.
Oh, so good. Always. I've actually like, I stopped doing it, but I'm doing it back, but I like to do it like all the time. There's nothing that is important to me, and I don't know if there are people in my life who rely on me on emergencies in that way, but I have like bypass for certain people, but everything else, like whatever. There's nothing. My notifications are off. Instagram notifications are off. I looked at my screen time at one point and I was like, no, like not at all. And like, I can be a content creator and strategist and stuff without having to be on Instagram all the time. Like it just intentional consumption, which is like way more effective and feels way more better for me. Notifications are off as well. There's nothing important. It like even with like there's nothing breaking news. If it's something like, oh, like a meteor is gonna come down to my house, I would love to know that, and I'm sure there will be mechanisms for me to be notified about that. But everything else, it's like there's nothing urgent, and I don't want to feel that sense of urgency towards things that are not as
Right.
like urgent at the end of the day.
If
Right.
you're a high achiever, you probably feel the exhaustion that comes with always pushing and carrying the load. And here's the honest truth: burnout doesn't fix itself by working harder or pushing more. You're not meant to just survive your success. You're someone who leads with impact and depth and intention, and you deserve to feel calm and connected while doing it. So imagine showing up present for your work and your personal relationships, feeling calm and grounded instead of constantly stretched. If that's what you want, this is exactly what we do in the Higher Alignment program. Book your assessment call through the link in the show notes, and let's get you back to balance and back to feeling like yourself again. Okay, so I'm not quite at that point yet because so I couldn't turn do not disturb on when I'm recording, when I'm with clients, when I have deep work. But so I tried to do the do not disturb all day long one time. Once I tried it once, and then I had the breakthroughs, right? So like people who could get through. So Thomas, my mom. Well, wouldn't you know, the one day I tried this, these two keep coming at me all day long, right? And it doesn't filter whether it's an emergency message or an emergency call or my mom's trying to tell me about her, whatever. So I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. So I haven't gotten to that point again yet, but I do agree with the no notifications things. Like I don't have Instagram. The only thing that have notifications on my phone are text messages, calls, WhatsApp. You know what I mean? Like that's about it. So
Not
I
gonna lie,
agree with that one.
my email notifications are on. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Oh, see, mine are off on those. Mine are off on that. Okay, this is kind of a two-parter. Building a morning routine or breaking your morning routine? I don't know if we should answer those together or different, but
Oh, what do you mean by building? Like,
so having a structured morning routine, right? Like so building. I'm up at 7. I'm walking till 7:30. I'm coming back. I'm eating like having structure in a morning routine or breaking your morning routine. I guess maybe which one would be more nourishing, or you could answer each one.
yeah, I think it's I think it's both. I think it's both. I think it depends. Because like for me, I do have a morning routine, but it's not strict. It's not I have to like it's not like I have to wake up at 7 a.m. and do that. Like actually I kind of wish I can just wake up at 7 a.m. and start doing things, but it's not as rigid. But it's stuff that's just like I want to wake up and I want to not be on my phone. I want to have my morning coffee or tea and just either read or just sit in silence or even just have like a solo dance party to just kind of like and just not start work right away. But it's okay if I don't do it perfectly. If it's okay if I just have time to just do my skincare routine and just have coffee and then start work, and that's okay. But for me, it's like mornings really fuel you throughout the day, but I feel like continuously doing it really nourishes you in the longer term. So on the days where I like sleep in because I have like a long night out, I'm not mad at myself that I didn't do a routine, but it's okay for me to miss a couple of days of not being able to do that morning routine.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think humans do well with structure, me included, but I
Mhm.
try to give myself flexibility,
Yeah.
right? Like I think that's the biggest thing. So like for me, I know like lately I've been sleeping way more. So like the latest I let myself get up is like 7:45, 8 o'clock, and
Mhm.
anything before that's whatever. And then same thing, I don't start working till 9, right? So I
Okay.
get like that's kind of like my non-negotiable. But whatever happens in that hour, you know what I mean, or is up for flexibility, right? But I think that's the most important thing is just like I do think we do well with structure and routine, but not to the point where then it has to be like like again, like militant every day, right? Because then again, it's going against what the signals of your body might be saying it needs.
Yeah, and like framing it in a way that like it's just like another checklist that you got to do every day rather than it's just part of your life, your lifestyle. Like
Yeah.
how you see things and why you do things, it really makes a difference.
Yeah. Okay. Going to the gym when you're exhausted.
Not nourishing.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
like because like really big on cycles, but also energy as well, but also like how often are you doing this? But also like recognizing like why are you exhausted? in the first place, but also like if you got a menstrual cycle going on, not every week is a weightlifting week. And sometimes sometimes that's like really not what your body needs. And your body might need like Pilates or yoga or just any movement like walking or gentle stretches. Is more about listening to what your body needs, but also not getting upset at yourself if you can't do things that you were able to do last week.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, for me, it's the same thing. It's like, it's not nourishing because the whole point of nourishment is listening to your body. And if your body's telling you you're exhausted,
Mhm.
right? And then don't go to the gym. And again, it can be for a plethora of reasons though, right? Because like if you're out late drinking all night and that's why you're exhausted, I still wouldn't say force yourself to the gym, but then I would ask, are these behaviors setting me up for success? Right?
Yeah.
Like was being out all night drinking, and it might have been a fun celebration. Like that's where you have to be your own judge. But again, how often is this happening? Is this happening all the time? Is this a one-off thing, once, twice a month, right? This is where you have to ask deeper questions. But purely just forcing yourself to go when you're exhausted, I don't think is a nourishing or like sustainable strategy. For and also just like if you're exhausted, you're gonna have higher cortisol, you're gonna be more stressed, your muscles aren't gonna recover. Like you're not gonna get great results out of the gym anyways when you're in that state.
Yeah, and like everyone works differently. Like sometimes like I would have like a really intensive physical day and then the next day, not because of like my usual like workout routine, just because like I'm just like out the entire day. And then the next day I'm like, okay, like I'm back to doing my workout routine and I've done that, but I was physically exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just like and then I had to like sleep earlier and longer and anything that compounds and like switches up my overall routine is like not great.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, two more.
Cool.
Um, Booking a vacation without an itinerary.
Yeah, nourishing. Um, yeah. I think it's nourishing because like for me, there was a point where like I did need an itinerary. But like having a rough itinerary or a rough idea of what you want to do is nice. But I think it's kind of like a good practice. Like going into things without trying to control your experience and having certain expectations. Because what if you go there and you're like, oh, like this environment feels really different and new to me. I'm kind of feeling like I want to go to a cafe or I want to explore these museums or I just want to walk and just see like what I want to do. And I think being able to be flexible like that and do what is more in tune with you and if there's like nothing at stake, like why not? Instead of forcing yourself to be like, oh, I should be seeing this and this and this, and then you're going there and your day is so busy and packed, but that's not when you arrive there, that's not where your mind and body is at. Why force it?
Yeah, I agree. I would say for myself personally, I think it does depend on like how long the vacation is a little bit. And I'm still for like I'm not a plan every minute out type person, but like if we're going somewhere and we're there for 2 weeks, like I need like okay, so what is our rough like? Are we for sure hitting just these two cities and these three cities, and then what we do there is unplanned? I need a little bit of
Yeah,
structure,
totally.
and the reason being is like this bougie, whatever. Like there's a certain way I like things done now, certain level of like hotel I want to stay in, certain level of travel I want to do.
Right.
Right. So like I'm just relating this back to Vietnam. Like I don't want to like stay in a hostel or something like that. Like I want access to like nice hotels and nice travel. And sometimes those take a little bit of planning. Right. So
Yeah.
from that aspect, like I need to know the bigger plans. But once we get there, we can wake up when we want to wake up. We can go for dinner when we want to go for dinner, like again, be in the moment, as you said.
Yeah, and like also just recognizing like why did you choose this place and is there anything that like you've always been thinking about and that you want to do like of course like listening to that as well too. Like
Yeah.
if you didn't do this, are you going to be okay or are you going to like deeply regret it?
Yeah, good. Yeah, great question. Okay, last one. Going for a podcast, walking in silence, or going for a podcast, going for a walk, going for a walk in silence versus listening to a podcast.
I going for a walk in silence, but like this is not it. Okay, it's yes, it's like a peaceful thing, but it's also like I don't like to be out in public with both earphones on, or even one earphones on. I feel like and probably just like being a woman and like as well, it's just like I really need to be aware of my surroundings and like yeah, I just really need to be aware of my surroundings and like you just don't know what's gonna happen. Like I like her. Yeah, I don't want to be like get into like some stories I've heard, but like you really like for me like I feel very comfortable being aware of what's happening, but it's also like I can take in what's around me, and I think that's like for me that allows me to practice daily gratitude and joy and finding joy and appreciation in little things. So sometimes I go on like color walks. Like I'm walking and I was like, okay, like today's going to be a yellow color walk. And I'm walking and and then I look for things that are yellow. And I was like, oh, that
Mm.
flower's yellow, that building's yellow, that car has a yellow sign. And that's like a color walk, and you can take photos of it and put on your page, whatever. But like, like just be intentional, but allowing yourself to be present.
I love that. I've never thought of that. That's a great idea.
Right? It's so
I'll
fun.
also like just like I totally get that like being aware of your surroundings in case anything happens because Christina lives in Toronto, guys. So
Yeah.
like I'm out in the country, right? Like I'm staring at a lake right now and there's like 20 people that live in this community, but but valid. You know what I mean? You want to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
But I remember a time where I couldn't walk without a podcast. Like I had to be listening to something.
Mhm.
Now I prefer it's not even just the podcast in my ear. I just prefer not to have my phone on me, period. So I leave my phone at home when I go for a walk now. But again, I'm also in an area where like if I go missing, Thomas can find me. I mean,
Oh,
like
you have like a
if you're
smartwatch? Or...
no, I don't
Oh,
have any
wow.
electronics on me. Yeah, I'm
Oh
raw dogging it. Yeah.
my gosh.
It's just me and nature. I don't take that's it because that's mainly it. It's not even what's in my ears. I just don't want anything electronic on me when I go for my walks.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But one thing I did want to mention is I had a girlfriend ask me this a little while ago, and she's like, Mintu, like I want to go for a walk without a podcast. Like if I just can't do it. And so she's probably just not at the point where she's fully ready to sit with her thoughts yet. And I can have compassion for that. But I told her what a good middle ground is, which I love the color walk. I think that's a great one. But another one I found really helpful was classical music. So it's something that's very nourishing to the nervous system still, right? But then you still have a little bit of stimulation and it makes your walk so beautiful because now it feels like you're in a movie because you're walking and this Beethoven's playing in the background.
Oh
You're
my
like,
God.
wow, like I've never seen this shopping parkade look like this before whenever you're walking by,
Okay, I can definitely see why that would be fun because like, like sometimes if I'm doing in my morning, I'm like I put on music and it just puts you in like in a good mood if you allow yourself to good and be in it like allow yourself to enjoy the music and be present and like dance silly. I love having solo dance parties. They are like the best things ever. I can see that, but for me it has to be like inside.
As you what?
And for me, if that has to occur like inside my home, I can't just do it with headphones like this.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So, okay, Christina, well, this was so great. Before we go, please tell people where they can find you, anything that you have going on. Like, please share that with everybody.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Tina over here. And I've just been talking more about like coming home to yourself, nourishing yourself, and just living a more intentional life. And just talking about daily reflections and stuff and just helping you find yourself a bit more. So if that's what you're into, give me a follow.
Yeah. And it's Tina over here is TINOOVER here, right? HERE. I'll put it in the show notes as well, too, so anyone can find her. But yeah, please go give her a follow. She's going to be your daily reminder for nourishment. But thank you. This was so fun.
Thank you so much.